This conference will now be recorded.
Press when we want to talk, and then I'm good. How are you?
Physical therapy partner. Hi, how are you? How are you? Good, Jim. How are you? Just had them there. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, they're a big wig now. Scott.
Wait a minute, Cassie.
So this meeting is now in order. At first, before we do the Pledge of Allegiance, we have a moment of prayer by Pastor Derek Lambert.
Please join me in prayer. Lord, we give thanks for another beautiful Florida day. Thank you for the privilege each of us has in being part of this vibrant community that we call home. I ask today that each of the citizens in Sun and Lake find and value life-giving relationships as well as a place to serve within the confines of Sun and Lake. May we both give and receive from our community. I pray for the staff and leadership as business matters are discussed here today. Allow these conversations to be both productive and to be helpful. I also wish to pray for each staff member, leader, and citizen today concerning their families and their personal lives. As we serve here today, some may have heavy hearts due to personal situations, Lord, and I pray that they may find grace and hope in you today. And may you be glorified in it all, we pray, in the name of Jesus. Amen.
So we all have new microphones today. So forgive us for getting used to them. And also let us know if you have any issues. The next regular meeting of the board will take place on Tuesday, June 2nd at 5:30 p.m. here at the community center. Please silence or turn off your cell phones for this meeting. Key upcoming events, strategic planning meeting and Board of Supervisors budget guidance at 9 a.m. Date to be determined. May 25th, Memorial Day, district office is closed for the holiday. June 16th, budget guidance and public comment on the budget at 5:30 p.m. I assume that'll be here as well. Yes, sir. So now on the public comments. Sorry, Stephanie. I'll hold it. Just, yeah, there you go. The point is, we won 4 Best of Highlands County awards, so we wanted to show them off. Public comments will be limited to 3 minutes and may or may not be answered by a supervisor or staff member at that time. However, all public comments will be captured for the record and general manager will address your issue or concerns after the meeting within 72 hours. Before we go to public comments, I want to remind us all of what these are meant to be. For anyone to be recognized by the board, you must come to the podium, state your name and address each time you get up. So if you want to get up 5 times and comment, we need your name and address, please. The meeting is held so the Board of Supervisors can conduct its business in public. The public comment is an opportunity for input, but it's not a back and forth discussion or debate between the board and or the audience. So when you approach the board, all comments, even if it's responding to someone else in the audience, face the board and make your comment. This is not going to be a personal debate. We've had a little too much of that in the past. That's all. Any public comment before we start?
Good morning, I'm Suzanne Wyatt. Is it on? I can't tell. Okay. Good morning, I'm Suzanne Wyatt from 1612 Sunrise Drive. I just want to thank the board and the district or whomever for putting some lights. The lights are getting ready to go around Sunrise Drive and I appreciate that. Thank you. It's going to look great.
Any other comment?
Rhonda Barish, 4983 San Ignacio Drive. I noticed that the course on Deer Run is closed. I don't know why it was closed or for how long, and I would like to know how much it's going to cost and who approved it.
I can respond to that. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Okay. The course is closed for maintenance. It's going to be closed for 2 weeks. As far as the cost, it's part of our everyday activities. We have to aerate the fairways and the greens. It's just annual maintenance that we normally do.
Any other comments? Okay, moving on. We need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'd like to move consent agenda number D to action agenda B, because I just want to discuss it.
I'm okay with that. If anybody else has an issue.
I also would like to discuss the contract that was put up in our agenda.
I need to make a motion. I make a motion, we move consent agenda D to action agenda B. And it's gym and yoga contractor approval, single approved bid for $166,000.
Supervisor Phillips,
Yes.
Supervisor McLaughlin. Yes. Supervisor Gilpin,
Yes.
Supervisor Carmona,
Yes.
President Northen.
Yes.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I second it.
Supervisor Phillips,
Yes.
Supervisor McLaughlin. Yes. Supervisor Carmona,
Yes.
Supervisor Gilpin,
Yes.
and President Northen.
Yes. Okay, we'll move on to the action agenda. First up is approve the golf cart fleet replacement contract with EasyGo for a 3-year lease buyout option.
All right, so good morning. So this item, last month, you all approved the one RFP that we received from EasyGo for the fleet replacement. And at that time, there was a multitude of options to be picked that was part of that packet. After staff review, the best option that staff's recommending is the 3 years. This is the same option we did the last time we replaced a fleet. We went with a 3-year lease with $100 per vehicle buyback. So basically for $1,000 at the end of 3 years, we own our fleet in total. We did that last time. That would be a $176,000 per year cost. It equals in totality after 3 years, $528. And basically $10,000 a year is the interest for us to roll this past, 1 year buyout.
Is that included, that 10,000, is that included in the 176?
Yes, sir. Yeah. So if we took a longer term, you took the 4-year or 5-year, you just add another $10,000, $20,000 to that. It made no sense because in 3 years, we just kept it the same, that in 3 years, we would still have a 2-year guarantee or warranty on all the batteries and the bits and pieces in there. So we would own them in total, but then have a lot of flexibility in our options. This is part of also they are buying our current fleet for $250,000. So we pay them $176 a year for 3 years. We buy them out for $1,000 at the end of the year, but prior to the contract, there's a payment back to us for our 100 vehicles of $250,000 that they're going to pay us. reasons why we went this route, yes, there's a little bit of interest pay over the same term. We would make almost the same exact in interest, $27,000 in interest by us keeping the money rather than us paying totally, a $500,000 to them on day one. So it made sense that it gives us more flexibility, keeps the money in our coffers, not in other companies' coffers. And it just made more sense that we didn't want to go past the 3-year mark. So that's a staff recommendation. We can go with a full purchase. We can go with a 4-year, 5-year, totally up to you, but we're recommending the 3-year buy.
What would happen if we did a full purchase at the end of we'll say 3 years of our full purchase? Would they be buying back the carts? Would we have the option?
If we did a full purchase, it would be the $750,000 number. They would pay us the $250 for our fleet. So it's roughly that same $500,000 that we would pay day one rather than only $176 on day one. We would own the fleet on day one. There'd be no lease. They would still be under a warranty. We would still work with EasyGo moving forward. Our recommendation is for us to have flexibility to have the money with us, not with them. We're recommending that for only a $10,000 interest payment, it may make more sense. So, yeah.
Would we be able to negotiate have them buy back these carts at the end of the 3-year term?
Well, the buyback of the 250 is.
No, I'm talking about the new carts that we're considering leasing.
Yes, sir. We will own the fleet in this scenario, as well as the full purchase. We own the fleet outright.
Okay.
So we would own this fleet in 3 years for $1,000 at the end of that. That's what we did last time.
Right.
We paid $100 per cart. We own the fleet. And that's why we have a lot more flexibility in contracting the next time instead of having a lease. So just made more sense to us. New fleet, they would not take our old carts till the new carts are on site. The $250,000 is locked in from day we signed a contract, so we're not going to lose any more money. We sought out other options, other vendors to buy our fleet separate from EasyGo. The market value that they were giving us was in the $1,500 to less than $2,000 range. Here it's $2,500 per cart. It made more sense to lock in with this vendor.
So essentially, we're spending $7,600 per cart.
Yes, sir.
And then getting back a credit.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay.
Is there any advantage under your proposal versus buying outright as far as maintenance or support from the company?
They're still warranted for 5 years, the batteries. They're warranted for 3 years for equipment, windshields and stuff like that. It's exactly the same if we owned it or not. It truly is us giving our power up of our $500,000 earlier or later. Yeah.
I guess my point is, if we pay them now, they're less incentivized to say, oh, you need me on Saturday? I can be there Monday, maybe.
Well, okay, so on that scenario, because, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, if we own them outright, some of the conditions of the contract language would have to be relooked at, of turnaround time, replacement of vehicles under warranty, that type of stuff. Is that true? Steve?
It's all part of the contract, so
So it wouldn't change.
it wouldn't change.
All right, stand corrected. So it'd be same. So, and that's why we went with EasyGo, or their only bid, but that was the main reason EasyGo came high recommendation, because of the quick turnaround time for a broken vehicle. Rather than 7 days, it was 24 or 48 hours. So yeah, that would still be a condition, buying them or leasing them. So.
And one other question, and looking at the proposal that they sent regarding the rental carts.
Yes.
They're asking $160 per cart if we wanted to rent a cart from them. Is that?
That's the going rate. Yes, sir. That's what we pay now. Yeah.
All right. So we couldn't negotiate that down at all?
No, sir. No. And we thought about keeping some of our fleet for that purpose. It didn't make sense because now all the batteries are out of warranty. It'd be more trouble for us to keep the current couple cars instead of just renting new models when we need them. We don't need them that often. I think we're probably going to make the next iteration of this contract language. We'll probably need to sit down and see if we want to increase it beyond 100 carts to give us more flexibility to avoid rentals in the future based on utilization. But that goes with a lot of other issues with we'd have to expand our cart barn. There's a lot more expenses in that. So I'd rather plan for that, not do it now, because we do not rent a lot of vehicles every year, except for a couple key events. It's not a lot of money. So
Right.
Additional vehicles, I should say.
So Boz, this contract you said is the exact same as the previous one. Were you and Did you leave the previous one or did you inherit that?
No, we inherited it because they bought it out my first year here. They bought out the 3-year contract. Yeah.
But is this capital money, right?
This is the money. We have $250,000 in the account now on
That's
1
capital,
October.
though,
Yes,
right?
sir, capital.
Okay.
On 1 October, we get the other $250,000. So we have physically the money in hand on 1 October when we have to pay them the money. So,
And we're working towards getting that, really paying for it ourselves instead of capital, I'm sure, right? In the future?
yes, sir. Moving
Yeah.
forward, the intent is every year we should be putting at least $100,000 of golf revenue into our account. So in 5 years, we have that same $500,000 sitting
So
there.
we'd be eventually paying for it out of the golf budget.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah.
That is, yes. sir.
And
That is the goal.
see, that's always been,
I got you. Yes, sir.
it's always been my problem is it's capital money and it doesn't show up.
That's a
It doesn't
perfect,
show up in
yes,
the
sir.
budget.
It's been
Okay,
appropriated for that specific reason.
yes,
Capital, yes. Yeah. But to Mr. Gilpin's point, that's exactly right. This budget cycle, we should be putting that 100,000 into the golf reserves, not the capital reserves. And that's the plan in this budget cycle. Yes, sir. Yeah.
The other contracts that the other companies put in, can you share those with us? Can we take a look at those other ones?
There was none, sir.
This is the only person that.
The only one that bidded. The other two called and said they couldn't meet the requirements of our RFP, so they didn't submit anything. But they did give us an answer that we're not going to compete. We don't want to, we can't meet your requirements on turnaround time for broken vehicles. It wasn't really the value, the cost. It was more so that we asked for 48 hours. They were doing 7 days. So they didn't bid at all. Yes, sir.
So you're choosing the lease option. Does that require us to have insurance on the vehicles too? Or would it be, is it a higher insurance rate or would it be better economically to buy it out?
Our fleet is insured under district insurance irregardless. We don't pay extra or less by having that. Having the lease option, obviously the company has the onus of maintaining those and managing those for repairs under their insurance. We wouldn't be filing a claim if we had damages. We'd go to EasyGo and say, you need to fix these vehicles under your insurance. So for us, it's value there that a hurricane blows through our cart barn and takes out our 100 carts. I'm talking to EasyGo. I'm not talking to my insurance company. So, yeah. So we're recommending, based on any further discussion, approve the 3-year lease with the buyback for $528. That includes the $250,000 payment up front by them for our current fleet on 1 October, and this will come out of the golf CIP budget.
Should we offer public comment on that? Yeah. Any public comment on this motion?
Yeah, I'd like to make the motion. I'd like to make a motion to approve the contract with EasyGo for the 3-year buyback lease for $528,000 over the term and a $250,000 buyback of our current fleet with yearly payments of $176,000 from the golf CIP budget.
I second.
Supervisor McLaughlin,
Yes.
Supervisor Gilpin. Supervisor Gilpin,
yes,
Supervisor Phillips,
Yes.
Supervisor Carmona,
Yes.
and President Northen.
Yes.
Cam, can you take care of this, please? He's in the closet.
He's in the closet. Yes.
Yeah, just turn it off when you're ready.
Okay, moving on to action item B.
All right, so we added the gym and yoga, and it's a procedural issue. Since the RFP was approved for the 166 amount, and the contract was totally in line with the RFP, that's why it was placed under consent agenda. There was no changes. Totally understand the discussion, and that's how we move it. So just so y'all are aware. So we sat down after you all approved the one RFP for the gym and yoga from the contractor. We sat down, we worked out the terms of the contract language. We set the terms for payments, the payment schedule. We agreed to that insurance and inspections we agreed to, as well as any change orders. We clarified that they will be few and far between, and there's a process for that. We made it clear to the contractor, and he totally accepted that. So based on all that, the contract language was worked out. Contracts in your packet. This was also vetted by legal, the contract language, and we stuck with the 166 final payout amount. The interior work of the building, so this is for the frame, the exterior, the windows, the roof, the eaves, and all that stuff. The interior work is being done over time by district master carpenters and our district electrical team. It is not being done by the contractor, hence that value price. We would not be building a building of that size for $166,000 in today's times. So that said, all that money is in the bulk account of the $950,000 for the pool area project. So that 166 is nested into there. Any additional cost is nested into there. And so far to date, we've spent $400,000 on the pool, what you see out back here. So there's still a $500,000 buffer that we're still spending for other projects to finish back here. That's where we stand. So we're just recommending approval of the contract as written based on your discussion. So
I have a few questions
Sure.
regarding the contract. In the scope of work for this, I don't see anywhere in here where the exterior stucco is included in the scope of work. Are we doing stucco on the outside of the block?
not that they're matching the existing building, so it's just a painted exterior.
Just painting the
Yes, sir.
block?
Yeah.
Okay.
Matching the current building back
And,
here.
and we're doing that ourselves, the painting of it?
I'll confirm that. No, that's part of they do the brickwork and the painting. I'll check
Yeah,
on
would
that
you
with him.
confirm that
Yes,
for me,
sir.
please?
Yep.
Also, when I look at the contract amount, when I add up the totals, everything, I'm coming up with an additional $799. That's where it's supposed to be one,
Talking the payment schedule?
yes.
All right, sir.
It says 166,799 when the contract's supposed to be 166.
All right. I'll have finance check the payment schedule, so we'll clean that up.
Some other questions here.
Was this the only bid also for
Yes,
this
sir.
one?
Yes, sir.
I'd like to see a construction schedule as well. We're trying to tie them to a specific date to have the walls up, but
Check.
we should have a construction schedule
Our project
included
manager.
in a contract.
Yes, sir. Well, the timeline for payouts is right now what we have agreed to that meets our requirement of by the end of June, he's done the walls and the roof. But to your point, Mayor, our project manager, is sitting down and working out the total schedule for
Okay.
completion to include what the district's going to do in addition to this 166.
Okay.
So you'll be provided that, yes, sir.
All right. And lastly, in my construction experience, that for general conditions and mobilization, 62,675 seems very excessive. It's usually 10% of the contract.
Agree. Agree. The reason we had that much up front is because for him to meet the timeline of end of June, he had to buy the trusses now, and he was needing the money now to purchase the trusses for the ceiling now rather than at the time later in June. So he showed us a cost for the trusses. We rolled that forward that he could buy it upon approval, and then we will have the trusses here in 2 weeks for construction. So
And
that's what.
he'll provide some sort of documentation indicating that the trusses were paid for so that
Yes,
we
sir.
can
Yes, sir.
release
Yeah.
that money, right?
He provides receipts on all his, yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay.
I agree with you. That was a high amount, but it was
Yeah, when
based
I
on
saw
a
that,
discussion.
it was
Yeah.
like sticker shock for me.
Yep.
Okay.
My only question.
Sir.
I have no problem with what we're doing. I mean, it's got to be done now. So, but I know originally we okayed a $650,000 pool. Last month, you told me there was 200,000 more that we were going to spend on the pool that we allocated last year. Is that correct?
On 1 October's budget, yes, sir.
Okay.
There was an additional 250.
And now we're adding 166,000.
No, sir. Previous year was the 650. On 1 October, you all approved a budget that added 250. That's why I use a $900,000 number. So $900,000 is the completion of everything in there. This is nested in that $900,000. This is not additional. This is, you gave us a $900,000 budget for everything in the pool, the new pool area. This 166 is inside that $900,000 as an expenditure.
And that amount is being taken out of the other contractor's scope of work.
Yeah, you're
Correct.
exactly right. Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So
Okay,
the
well-
pool's like around 450 total. This is 166, and the remaining costs are for landscaping, fencing, other projects. It'll all total $900,000.
Yeah, there's a lot more too
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
that's coming, and that's my concern.
I got you, sir. Yes, sir.
And it's going to be way beyond $650,000 pool.
I
when
know it
it's
will.
over.
900,000 would be. Yes, yes, sir.
Well, we're seeing.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and that's,
That's why we approved the 250, right?
well, yeah, I guess we approved it. I don't remember that, but it's
We
in
did.
there somewhere.
1 October, sir, you approved $250,000.
You were on the
for-
board, not me, Mike.
Yeah. Oh, I voted against the budget, so I didn't approve it.
Okay.
So, okay. But, okay, I just trying to do what we do.
Yes,
is
sir.
Watch this money. And-
We'll bring an accounting finance. We'll bring an accounting in June's meeting to show you up to June 2nd, all our expenditures for the pool. Yes, sir.
I'd appreciate that.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Okay. When is he supposed to start this?
As soon as you approve it, he's out there right now.
Okay, so the slab and the footers are already in place for him?
The slab was tied to the pool construction because of the
Right.
necessity to do those concurrently.
That has to be done though prior to him
Yes.
putting the
So
block on,
that's in that right now, part of the pool guy. Once you approve this, then he comes in and starts building on that slab. Yes, sir.
right? All right, I'm satisfied with that.
We just need a motion to approve the contract for 166. That's basic language we need.
I'd like to make the motion to go ahead and approve the contract for $166,000 to award it to, what's the name of the company again?
CDW.
CDW.
Yeah.
I second.
Supervisor McLaughlin. Supervisor Gilpin.
Yes,
Supervisor Carmona.
Yes.
And Supervisor Phillips.
Yes.
President Northen.
Yes.
We have no add-on, sir,
Okay.
unless you want one. And we've had no petitions or communications to the board or to the district.
Boss, excuse
Sure.
me. As far as add-ons are concerned, can we bring the Florida Attorney General letter into scope, into,
We can discuss it now or discuss it under supervisor comments. Yes, sir. We can discuss that if you want.
well, I would like to discuss it now, and the reason for it is I'd like to ask Janice now what she thinks about it.
Sure.
Should we inform?
So, yes, so we had our county meeting a few weeks ago at the county, and they're having their board meeting today, so that's why you don't see a county commissioner here at 9 o'clock. There was some information placed at that county meeting that clarification that we are supposedly a dependent district, and a bunch of other messages. What we did, and we had some citizens provide us that were here 20 years ago, provide us some documentation that we reached out, and we found that in April 22nd of 2002, there was the same discussion being had between the county and the district. And at that time, Mr. Bullard was the county chairman of the board. The county asked the state of Florida for some clarifying language on what is Sun and Lake. Are they an independent district? Do they have their own legal representation? So on and so forth. With the concurrence of our board of commission or our supervisors at that time, and we received that same letter back from Secretary or Attorney General Butterworth, who is the Attorney General of Florida. He responded. I'll have copies of this. I can hand out to you all. The board members all have a copy. And it was in the positive response that Janice can expand on.
All right, so I don't. There's two issues here. First of all, let's talk about the 2002 opinion here and what the status of the district is. You are an independent special district. By express language of the county code, when the county created you, it expressly says in the code, it is to be a special district under 189. The district was created prior to a change in the law. Currently, to create a special district, and independent special districts are created by the legislature only. Counties create dependent special districts. When you were created, counties could create independent special districts. So anyone looking at the statute on special districts today would look at, okay, county has created the code, so therefore automatically it's a dependent special district. That's incorrect because this district was created before the law changed. So that causes a lot of confusion. The Attorney General in 2002 said pretty much the same. This is an independent special district. The county at the time had the authority to create an independent special district. It says so in its special act. So I don't think there's any dispute in the law. In the 2001 litigation, also very lengthy paragraphs, how the judge is explaining that, yes, this is in fact an independent special district. I believe that, the county looking at it in today's terms would say, oh, how is it an independent special district? So I think this particular AG opinion, the litigation in 2001, has resolved this issue. So the question now is, can we get an Attorney General opinion updating that? Well, in order to get an Attorney General's opinion, there's a process. This board would pass a resolution. I would draft a legal memo describing the issue and the legal sources for it, and submit it to the Attorney General. However, I would have to certify to certain requirements, and one of the requirements is that the request does not involve an action that an official agency has already taken action on, or funds which has already been addressed. So the fact that this issue was addressed in 2002, the exact same question with the exact same results, I couldn't certify in my letter request to the Attorney General that I met this request meets this requirement, because it's already resolved. I think the Attorney General would not even accept, I couldn't even provide a letter to the Attorney General stating that it hadn't already been resolved. So very happy to draft a letter to the county attorney with this exact reference. She seems to be pretty open, and she's a very good lawyer.
According to the newspaper article, she's not open at all on this, Janice.
I spoke with her on the phone leading up to this issue, the county board meeting, and she expressed to me that the issue was really about the election procedures. I sent her a memo outlining what we had identified as issues with their code of ordinance relating to the election procedures, and she accepted it fine. She had, she thanked me for it, had no further questions. Definitely can follow up with her. I haven't listened to the recording or the tape of the county attorney meeting. I can do that if you wish, and then address her specific comments about it being a dependent special district. But I believe it's well settled that this issue is an independent special district.
I would agree on paper it's settled.
Yeah.
Watching that meeting is clearly not settled.
Okay.
You had
Not
to be
only-
there to
yeah,
appreciate
Not only
it as
does
well.
she believe, she's got 5 commissioners agreeing with her.
All right. So I will follow up with her, and, first I'll listen to the meeting and kind of identify where the miscommunication is coming from, and, provide her with it states clearly in their code of ordinances that this is an independent special district under Chapter 189. So.
All right. Well, there is a county meeting coming up on the 19th at 9:30, I believe it is. I would suggest that our residents that are not happy with the county's decision to take over our election process, I would highly recommend that everybody show up for that particular meeting and express their concerns.
So was the intention, from your understanding, that the county was going to appoint board members?
Yes.
Okay. So that didn't change in the meeting?
No.
Okay.
No.
I think that was one of the options.
Oh, one of the options. Okay.
It wasn't, I don't know if they know
So
what they
after,
want to do, so.
yeah, and after that meeting, I can forward, put the email the memo that I prepared for her and send it all to you. I went through, the issues that we spotted and why this was a challenge for the district and, election integrity. I think she understood that. So we'll see what happens. I'll follow up with her for sure.
I appreciate if you would. You may want to go ahead and just listen to some of the conversation that she had.
And
during the
address it
meeting.
directly with her.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Do we have any news on the lawsuit? for the county?
The judge still has not issued her ruling on the motion to dismiss. We each filed our proposed orders 2 weeks ago, and so we're still waiting.
I don't think we need to be engaging in another lawsuit until we settle the first one with the county.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And we'll have copies of this as well as if you need more, we can get you for residents that are interested. All right, we're up to legal.
Yeah, other than that, we're just following up on some outstanding issues. We have the Magnolia Villas, still waiting on a legal description for them. I've reached out to their attorney, TJ Wool, again, and he, is again going to reach back out to them. I think the challenge is he created the district, but didn't really set it up. So the HOA is going to have to hire a surveyor to get the legal description. So that's the bit of the challenge. We've worked with, is it Deer Run? Yeah, Deer Run, we advised them that we couldn't assist them with their internal issue with their declaration of covenant, and happy to assist their lawyer, but, that's a private issue, and as an independent special district, you cannot be expending, public funds on a private matter. I explained that to them. And that's it for the legal report today.
All right, going into this in your packet, it says nothing
Excuse me,
because I
Bob.
wasn't going to be here, so now I am here. I'll give you a quick update of the Duke Power. So you see a lot of work happening on Sun Lake Boulevard. If you see the concrete poles that are up there, you'll see a concrete pole, a shorter pole with an X. All those are being removed. What Duke Power got is I want to say a $500 million grant from the federal government to do storm hardening of power lines throughout Florida. And currently, we are part of that project from 27 all the way into Advent Hospital, basically Ponce de Leon, and then beyond that. So that's what they're doing for us now. So all the small poles go away, the more extreme, higher hardened poles go in. We had a meeting with them. There was no opportunity because it's a special grant to go underground. That was off the table because the federal government would not authorize that. That said, Duke Power is very interested in going underground. So we're going to have some future meetings with them to see if we can start taking all the power lines along Sun and Lake Boulevard at a start point and start submerging them under the ground, and then eliminating what I call the rat's nest of Sun Lake Boulevard with all these power lines all over the place. So that's a future discussion.
I have a question regarding
Sure.
our signage out front.
Yep.
Those power poles are obstructing a lot of the view of the signage, and we've put a lot of
Yes, sir.
effort and money into that. Is that something that can be resolved?
Well, once the cement pole goes away with the guy wires, our sign is not impacted anymore, in their opinion. There's a large pole now on the northern end or the western end of our sign. That's just the only place they could put it. It's in a right of way. They have the ability to flex that, and we were not able to adjust that. But we had a meeting with them. We're going to work closely with them. We'll bring back to the board any collaboration that we do for undergrounding power lines in the near future. The focus is on Sun Lake Boulevard, and then over time, some of the other boulevards, not so much the neighborhoods. They're a fan of that because we're in Florida and it saves them a lot of work. But the challenge they have is that they were not able to adjust their grant from the federal government. We talked the pool update. You see the work going on back there. You'll see some more work going on now with this approval of the yoga and gym building. So project progresses there. No impact on the pool. The testing, the pressure testing came back positive. So now they're going to start backfilling all the around the pool area. You'll see that work. And then you'll start seeing the area start taking shape, landscaping. We'll start doing that to include the gym and yoga building starts rising up from the ground.
Boz, what's the anticipated finish date on the pool itself?
So we're shooting for the pool to be active by the end of May. There will still be to the left, if you're looking at Lake Granada, pool's on the right. To the left will be a over summer project for landscaping and greenscaping. But the pool should be operational, that we can utilize that with the pool deck. And the gym and yoga he was given, based on our timeline, the walls and the roof is up by 3rd of July for our event. And then we start working on the interior stuff over the July, August timeframe, because that's staff work. So.
Okay. One other question aside on the pool itself. This is going to be a deep water pool, my understanding.
Well, it's a lap pool. So there's 2 lap lanes. It's not deep. It's for swimming laps.
Okay.
And then there's a square 50 by 50 area that comes up chest height.
Mhm.
And so that there is no diving, just like
Okay.
our pool is no diving.
Right.
It's meant for wading and for exercises and stuff in that squared area, but really when needed to be used for lap purposes, we'll have the strings out and everything. Otherwise, we'll take the strings down, staff will do that, and then that'll just be the open swim area. So
Should we consider lifeguards for this particular pool?
because it's not diving and because of the depth, there's no requirement by state of Florida. So we're not doing that. What we are doing is one step below that, I'll call it. Center of the new pool complex. So you'll be a pool to your right and in the old pool. There'll be a more formidable cabana for staff. That staff person will be out there more so to manage the rules, enforce standards out there, but not by any means as a lifeguard.
Will the
That's not a
staff be
requirement.
certified, CPR certified?
Staff is annually certified, pool staff for sure, but some other staff members on the AED as well as CPR. So we got some new staff now. We're having a training session the next week or two, so we will do that. But there are no requirements for lifeguards. We do bring in lifeguards as their special events. We have the schools coming here for some collaboration. They will have a lifeguard for those type of events, even that it's not a diving pool. So yeah.
I was just concerned, obviously, about injury, but I was also concerned about insurance purposes.
Yes, sir. Yep. Okay. Yep. Lake Granada Trail, at the same time, you see a trail going in around Lake Granada. It stops at the dog park. It continues on to Edgewater. That's part of that grant that we're getting from the state. So we're only doing our half, and then once the money comes in from the state, we'll continue that from the dog park all the way to the cart barn. So there'll be a continuous loop around Lake Granada to include that goes behind the clubhouse all the way to the courts. So you'll be able to walk, hike. It's going to be asphalted. You'll be able to walk, hike, bike, golf cart on this trail, 8 foot wide. So that's going to be a great addition to our green space back here. And that's ongoing process. That's a collaboration between Public Works as well as we have a equipment contractor helping out with some of the heavy equipment, but that's part of the project there.
One other question.
Yep.
I hate to keep interrupting
Yep.
you, but the cart barn, there was a request for, excuse me, for the maintenance area there at the cart barn to kind of put concrete there or whatever
Yep.
because of the washout and all that. Can we incorporate that into that trail?
Well, we're looking at that repair. Jimmy's on that as the remediation, how we can fix that. We really want to tie that into a refresh of the entire cart barn over the next year or two to expand it a little bit more depth and tied to that. Right now we have 1 lane for cart returns. We're trying to go to 3 lanes
Right.
to start stacking carts up to get refreshed and refurbished before they go in. So there's a bigger project going on there. So yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Finally, we just received 3 bids. To Dr. McLaughlin's point, you'll have 3 bids to look at for Sun Lake Boulevard. So right now we will review those and we'll rank them. You'll be presented not only the ranking but the 3 bid packets for your review at the June meeting. There's no rush to get this project going in the summer months. We had 1 local company, 1 from Wauchula, and 1 from Tampa that bidded for this project. This is the bike hike trail that goes from Cortez, connects to our existing trail, takes you all the way out to Balboa. So now there'll be a safe path all the way from 27 all the way out to Balboa to the county preserve. That'll be tied to this trail. So we had 3 good bids come in. I haven't even opened them yet. We'll open them and we'll do the ranking based on the evaluation criteria. But you will see not only the bids but the staff ranking of that. So,
It seems to me that the summer would be the opportune time to go ahead and do this work because of the lack of people here.
it's really tied to we want to move forward on this because slowly we're selling. People are buying and building more houses on Sun Lake Boulevard. And I don't want to start tearing people's front yards up and their driveways. If we do that now this summer, then as people buy on Sun Lake Boulevard, they're having to build into our trail to cross it based on our standards and not us tearing up their driveways. So it'll be done this summer. It's just a 2-month project. So yeah.
Okay.
Other than that, unless you have a question on another topic. Yeah.
I just wanted to say something about the RFPs.
Sure.
I'm glad that we're getting some.
Mhm.
At least now a couple of our supervisors know what they look like. In the past, we'd always Do all the contractors get invited to when you open them? I mean, we used to do that. Sometimes we opened them here at the meeting. Is any of that going on, or do we
Yes, sir.
invite the ones that bid to there, or?
They will be invited once, that's why we haven't opened them yet. They all dropped them off Friday. They all got a receipt. They confirmed drop off, so we gave them the receipt. They're still in sealed bids. At the time we open them for the ranking, they are allowed to be in there in case there's a question to be asked. A lot of them say, just send me an email if you have a question. But since one's local, I'm sure they'll be
Yeah,
here. I don't
well,
think the other two will be here, but
I just want to make sure they're asked.
they will be asked.
I mean-
But to your point, sir, even in our current purchasing policy, the only thing that comes to the board, obviously you can see the packets, you'll get the packets. That recommendation comes from staff to you of which bid we're recommending.
Well, I understand that.
There's no
but it-
requirement for you to open
No,
or
and
anything.
certainly,
Okay.
you don't have to be required to be a little transparent. You know?
Well, yes, sir. We're as
That's all
transparent
I'm
as you can
asking
on that.
for.
Yes, sir. Yeah, just so you know. So,
Okay.
all right.
Is this the time of add-ons? We can ask questions regarding specific items?
Anything on general manager's report? Yes, sir. Yeah.
All right. We've allocated money for the refurbishing of the greens on Turtle.
Yep.
Before we do anything on that, I think it would be a good idea if we consulted with an outside source perhaps to find out if it's actually required.
Sure.
I know we have an agronomist here that would probably agree with that. But I think it's important that we do that. I hate spending that kind of money to refurbish those greens if it's not necessary.
Yes.
All right. And secondly, I'm not exactly clear what has to be done with the irrigation on Turtle. And I've had a number of our golfers approach me on that as well. We have no idea why we have to have irrigation done. And if so, what do we have to have done for the irrigation? Is that something that perhaps Jimmy could answer for us?
Sure. You can answer, yeah.
Good morning. So the irrigation over there is hydraulic. So the parts are, the satellites are getting harder to get the parts for. Everybody's starting to go to electric. It's been happening over the last couple of years. So the irrigation right now, I'm sure you guys have been out there. You'll see heads come up during the weekend. We got to come up. That's hydraulic pressure. So we have a booster pump that keeps those down, but it's basically, it's inundated. It's not going to last forever. The parts are becoming unavailable. The other part is when the hydraulics come on. So if I put 5 minutes to run a sprinkler head, it may actually run 8 or 9 minutes. Or they're not as efficient as the electric is, because they, just like at your house, when you turn the electric off, the head goes straight down. These set and weep, and I'm sure you've been playing and see them leaking the same way. The biggest issue I have with that is continuing on the sulfuric acid that we're on right now. And if I have heads weeping, it's not good for the turf or our cost savings as far as that goes. We spend a lot of money on that sulfuric acid. Same thing with the electricity on the pump stations running during the day and peak hours and everything, because once it loses pressure, either the head pops up and the pumps have to come back on. So the main thing is we wouldn't be replacing pipe. We would be replacing, the bid that I did get you all is just for electric heads, and
So it's controls primarily then is what you're looking
controls
for.
the satellites and then the 2-wire system. We wouldn't do what we did on Deer Run with all the HDPE pipe, because really I don't have that many leaks over there. All my leaks happen because of the hydraulic pressure.
Okay.
The greens are already done as well. You already have your inboards, your outboards.
That's what I was wondering, because
Yeah.
I knew that the greens were.
Those will remain the same.
Okay. All right. And it's your recommendation, Jimmy, based on the golf notes that I read, that you would prefer to see the irrigation done before anything is done with the greens?
It's just really important right now, especially what we're doing with our droughts right now, to be more efficient with our water. And then it will give us the ability to control the water a lot better. Our central right now communicates with it, but it's 25-year-old technology.
Okay.
And yes, I would. Again, speaking about the greens, you had USGA come in. They did recommend it. The thing why they got so good last year is because we drill and field. So if we elect not to, we can bring USGA back in, or Todd Lowe for the USGA.
I was more considering an outside source as an independent evaluation rather than USGA?
Well, the USGA is your number one. That's your best one. I don't know who you would try to get other than that.
Well, there's a number of companies from what my research where you could ask people to come and give you a consultation. But in any
Either
event,
way.
that's besides the
Sure,
point right now.
certainly.
As far as irrigation replacement, is that something we would do or will we hire a company?
That
to
would be
do that?
contracted.
And do we have an estimate on that? Has that been?
I've gotten Boz the pricing on it last year. Again, it all depends on, normally there's a lot of renovations going on in Florida there. And so you have to really either lock in your pricing right now. If the petroleum based pipe and everything is, it's very expensive right now. Same thing happens if you try to budget it for next year. The pricing, it depends. It could either be lower or higher. The other thing is the availability of the contractors. That dictates everything. You just don't want to have just anybody do it. So there's only a few companies that we'd go to RFP, but I'm sure you'd probably get the same ones that have done your work in the past.
All right. So
You didn't give us a figure.
It's 874,000 if I recollect.
That's what it was last year, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So this year, obviously, it's going to be probably more.
Yep.
And in your mind, you would like to see this taken care of as soon as possible, or is that something that can be deferred?
I mean, like I said, you're wasting acid every time those heads are stuck on. We spent a lot of time on hydraulics. Over the last week, I had 3 issues with hydraulics. Had them Monday morning. Thursday, I had issues with that pump station over there. If you noticed, if you played this weekend over there, the back was hot because you were having issues with satellites and comm wires over there. Front didn't get it as bad.
Okay.
So we fight issues over there constantly, just like we did on Deer Run. Deer Run was at the point where you couldn't even isolate valves and you had to shut down the pump stations in order to even do a repair. So
Right,
I mean,
right,
they get old.
Okay. Now, do we have money in our fund to cover an expense like this?
We are tying irrigation repairs in next year's budget. So 1 October, that's part of our discussion we need to have on budget. I think to your point, you're going to see the first 6 months numbers for the budget in June. We just received them last week, so we weren't ready for this meeting. So you'll see where we stand on 6 months. What I can add to that discussion on June 2nd is where we stand on our capital expenses to date. And then you will quickly see there are some projects that we've basically stalled, Turtle being one of them, that there's some pots of money that you all approved back in June that we can reallocate, push into next year, pull forward, just like we did with the vac truck we bought. So let's have that discussion. I would recommend we have that in June. And if you want to front load an irrigation project, it's 800 for the entire Turtle. We could phase it. There's a lot of opportunities here. We could hit out, half of do 9 and do the other 9 and just live with it for a while. So there's opportunities that we can get it within budgetary restrictions. But we'll present that in June 2nd to you all.
I think it's important that we protect our golf
Oh,
course.
yes, sir. I agree. There's no sense doing new greens with bad irrigation. Makes no sense whatsoever. So I agree with you.
What's the amount on the new greens on Turtle?
So outsourcing them, they're starting anywhere from when I outsourced them last year was $1.8 million to $2.2 million.
Yep.
So we got quite a bit of money to spend on Turtle. Huh?
I didn't say it. I said that's what it would cost you.
Yeah. You understand, we did Deer internal, and with any project you do internal with your own hands, you can save 50% of the project because it's your labor. And that's where we save. Deer should have been about a $1.2 million project. We did it just around $500,000 because his guys, public works guys, our irrigation guys, we all did that on the clock for Sun and Lake. We're going to bid these out. We have to bid these out by law. So we're going to do that. And then you guys will make a decision to either do it, not do it, or do it in-house and direct me to do that like we did to Deer. So that'll be a future discussion. Yep.
And the in-house bid, will it be included in the 3?
Excuse me, ma'am. I'm sorry.
The in-house bid?
Pull your microphone down, Beverly.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
the in-house bid will be included in the 3?
Jim, you can work up a number. Yes, ma'am. We'll work
Please.
up a number for Turtle.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Yep.
And currently, we have what, 400 and something appropriated for that?
We had $500,000 appropriated for Turtle Greens on this year budget.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
We haven't obviously touched that at all. So.
Do we have any updates on the $90 million water treatment plant? Have we gotten any grants, any federal, state, county?
Yes, sir. So we had a meeting with the Haskell engineers and the Ardura, which are the mechanical engineers for that last week, basically to build our submission for the August DEP request for money. We worked out some agreements of the composition of the project, the location, and clarified that. So now we have our packet being sent to DEP on the first week of June. And the ask this year is a $10 million grant, free money, that DEP will issue for construction design. So what we built right now with these, what we're paying right now, we're paying about $1 million to these companies right now, is for us to build the submission, the packet, that has a very 1 over 30,000 feet view of what our project looks like. That's what we're paid for now. The next step is to actually get the engineer company identified, which will be RFP'd. We're not going to use the current guys we're doing now. They will be able to submit, but it'll be RFP'd once we get the DEP approval for 10 million. So that's going to DEP route, which is federal money. DEP gets money, state of Florida gets money from the feds, and they just reallocate it through the DEP channels under state money. At the same time, Jamal is looking at other resources where there's some septic to sewer transition. There's other grant money in smaller buckets, and I say smaller, like $1 million, $1.5 million, that we're going to be putting packets in to get additional money, free money, to help with our pipes and the network that's going out from there. I'm thinking that in mid-August, after that meeting, we get very quick notification. Did we get the grant or did we get a loan? And then we'll bring that to you to either accept it or turn it down. But then now we have a year to get the construction design, to work out all the asks, because next August in 2027, we will be asking for the $60 million amount for the totality of the project. That is a grant. We meet the criteria for population as well as income levels and the amount of septic systems we have for a grant rather than a loan. We're not a Palm Beach or a Miami. So we can meet that criteria. So that was good to hear from DEP. But next year we'll be asking for the big bucket of money, and that money comes in $20 million allocations every year max. So they'll approve 60, 80 million, and then every year they'll give us 20 million to start paying out our contractors for the build of the project. We are still shooting for a 2029 ribbon cutting for the plant that ties into the current network. And I'd say 2 years later, you'll start seeing areas past Cortez that'll be tied into the network and get off the septic tanks.
So, Buzz, what happens if, God forbid, if we didn't get this grant and we've expended all this money to do this engineering and that?
Well, the design needed to be done irregardless. So the way we submitted our packet to DEP is that Sun and Lake, just on the $2,700 per parcel impact fee, is able to pay for a $60 million loan if needed. Worst case scenario. And without getting any free money from any source, which is highly unlikely, our numbers came out, and DEP proved those numbers, not me submitting the numbers, that based on the amount of revenue we're generating with the $2,700 over 15 years, we were able to pay back a $3 million payment every year loan of $60 million. But so if we get free money, then that money is going to go towards the pipes, the extension lines, and it'll really amplify what we can do rather than pay a loan back. So I'm comfortable that I'd rather not spend $3 million on a loan, but I think them clarifying us that we're a low, we meet income and population levels, and they take it now as submission. If we grow in 3 years and we go to 15,000 people, we're still under the 20,000 cap. So we're good on population. So yeah, but we worst cased it for the submission. So.
Okay, thank you.
You had something else, Dr. McLaughlin, you were going to mention?
No, I was just worried about the Plan B, but Mark asked you that question.
Okay.
So
As I got another question for Jimmy. Did I read in the golf committee that we're replacing a green? No?
No.
Okay. I saw it in the golf committee. Okay. And Boz,
No, I'm sorry, Mike. What they did is they, they went ahead and they put sod down on green 15 on Deer. That wasn't a replacement. It was just a repair of the green
Patchwork, yes, sir.
patchwork. Yep.
okay. Well, they didn't state it that way, you know. Boz, I've had several questions about 4 interns we hired, or could you explain that to us?
So the,
Because I know
yes, sir.
nothing about it.
So they're not interns. So the International City Manager and County Manager Association that me and Jamal are a part of, these are the people that sent us the international students last year. They have an opportunity that they're offering candidates that have master's degrees in public administration, and they're wanting to be future general and city managers. So it's a program that they run. We have gaps in our staff. Our operations director is not here, and a few other positions that taking this opportunity to hire a highly qualified candidate that we would never get in Highlands County. We're bringing them in to fill some of these key roles. They're staff. They're not interns. They're paid staff. There's no requirement to keep them past 2 years. If they don't work out, they don't work out. All we get from the organization is they pay for their fees to be a member of the organization. They don't give us any money for their payroll or anything. We're not creating positions. These are positions that we're replacing the ops guy. We're just calling them Parks and Rec director and so on. So these are 4 candidates that we've interviewed, we vetted. They're coming with either life experience, professional experience, but they all have masters in public administration. And so they know government, and that's a good thing for us. They know how government's supposed to operate at our level. So they will be coming over the next few months into some of its key roles to help amplify our departments in certain areas. Yes, sir.
How much is this costing us?
No, these are positions that are on our staff, sir. We're just going to be our payroll. We didn't create anything for them. We had a position for ops director. We just renamed them.
So they're going to be paid by us, though.
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
staff members.
And
Yes,
that's what I'm asking. What are these 4 costing us?
their average is a $50,000 salary, just like you be with a regular
Okay.
director. Yeah.
And it's
how many
already
of them
part
are
of
there?
our
We have 4. It's already budgeted. It's
It's
in our
already in our
payroll.
budget.
Yeah.
4 total. Public information officer, Parks and Rec director. We've already budgeted for an assistant general manager. We got that person coming in. Again, these are all budgeted positions. They're just not filled. So we're going to fill them.
So
And-
$200,000 for interns,
They're not interns, sir.
No,
They're staff.
No, they're staff. They're replacing the staff.
but they're
that we
coming
don't
from
have.
college.
Some are graduates. Some graduated 2 years ago, been in the workforce, and they're just part of this program. Yeah.
Honestly, I think that what they're budgeted for is very low.
It is
considering
extremely
the
low.
positions, right?
Yeah.
Can we move on to safety and security? Is that,
Yes, sir.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
we had the Highlands County Sheriff here?
Yep.
And I noticed in the report here that they had a number of traffic stops and traffic citations. Do we feel that that's warranted to keep them on to do that?
Yep.
In
So,
my opinion, I think they are, but
so the first month we had $3,000 in contract expenses for the dedicated officer that works for us for 8 hours, well, 40 hours a week, basically. So in that time frame, in just 1 month time frame, they ticketed or warned or gave citations or dealt with over 160 incidents. In the same time frame, the steady state, I'll call it the regular officer that's one on shift for the entire day, has only engaged less than 20 people during the regular cycle of business. So these individuals work straight for our security department. We tell them what street to go on. We tell them where we have our traffic enforcement issues, and they have been very responsive to enforce the rules that everyone's been complaining about speeders and everything. So I think it's definitely a value. It's definitely something we will continue at least another month because we have the contract budget to do that. And then we'll see them how it pans out. If it's something that needs to be on a recurring basis, we'll recommend that in the budget talks with you. But you got to understand, the regular officer that the sheriff assigns to Sun and Lake patrols the entire Sun and Lake, one vehicle, goes around everywhere, and then gets called off if needed to other incidents. This officer works directly for me and our security manager. So they don't get called off. They're dedicated.
Right.
They're on site. We tell them go to Columbus. We tell them to go to San Ignacio. And then they do whatever they need to do
Yeah,
for us.
I agree
Yeah.
that the new SUV looks very much like a Highlands County Sheriff SUV, and
Yeah.
it kind of deters people from speeding or whatever.
Yeah.
But I guess my point is that we're spending $3,600 a month
Yep.
for the sheriff, and I just want to make sure that it's warranted. And
Yep. I'll have the exact data, what they stopped in Friday's report to y'all. So you'll have the breakout of what they've done, either
Mhm.
traffic citations. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else on general manager's report?
So last month, we had a question about looking into social memberships. Has anything been done on that?
Yes. So we sat down with the team. Again, this was kind of a lean schedule. We're going to bring to you a change in some of our fee schedules, and we will be offering a social membership to residents to participate just in our, to include a small discount to participate at our clubhouse and those type of events. So it's a great idea, great recommendation. We'll definitely support that. You'll see that in a fee change because there's a few other areas with the building permits that we are finding. We just need to adjust some of these numbers for the fee schedule. So the board will see that in June. Yep.
Was there any pushback from Tanglewood on the termination letter?
No, they haven't responded back at all, legally or individually. So,
We've given them a timeline though to.
well, it's done. There is no time.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you, Janice.
They haven't executed the termination yet. So despite, sending it to them and requesting it. So we're still waiting for their signature on it. But while I'm here today, I plan on maybe dropping by and seeing Angie in person.
Okay.
So by executing, they just need to sign it.
Yeah.
So one of the things I heard in the board meeting, the commissioners last week, was how uncommunicative we are and how our schedules overlap their schedules for their meetings. I'm not proposing anything, of course, for this year, but before we schedule our meetings for next year, should we try to accommodate by changing our schedules to better match their flexibility to come to our meetings? Just an idea to throw out before we put our dates hard in writing, that we ought to consider that.
So the county board obviously meets a steady state, like they're meeting today. They'll meet 2 weeks from now. They always meet in the mornings, which is very comical to me that they're saying they want us to meet in the evenings, but they only meet in the mornings. So they meet twice a month. They meet in the mornings. Again, you guys approved this adjustment to the first Tuesday. If we went to the alternating, we went to next Tuesday, let's for example. We did the second Tuesday of every month. There'd be no conflict with the county commissioner, whoever commissioner, as well as staff attending. They'd be an opportunity. I don't think the issue is our timing of our meeting, time frame of the meeting. It's the date of the meeting. So if you guys want to put some thought into that, then we can have that discussion.
I have to agree that we should probably decide to move it to the second Tuesday,
Yeah.
only to accommodate so that we can improve our communication with them. He feels that, Mr. Couric feels that he's not being properly addressed by not being here. That's totally absurd, but in any event, I think that perhaps we might want to consider that.
You all set the agenda, sir. Staff will support whatever date, time you
Well,
pick.
This was all set prior to what happened at that last county commissioners meeting. So I think it would be something that we should consider.
Yeah, I agree. We should kind of, in my opinion, I'd like to do that, but I think we should wait to see what's up their sleeve. I mean, I have no idea what they're doing.
Mhm.
And I don't think anybody knows until we hear from them what they want to do. But I think it's something we ought to put for later on.
Sure.
Because there might be other things we have to change or consider changing.
Well, his whole premise, Mike, was that he wants to improve communication with us.
Yeah, well,
And-
that's,
And I think that's the
that was
first
just
step right
one of
there.
that's one of the things that they
Yep.
talked about. And I agree. No.
Okay. All right, thank you. Anything else, Greg? Mr. President?
One more question. I guess I should have saved this for later, but is there any update on the progress of the mural with the little individual tiles, how that's going?
So we have 650 tiles. There was 150 that we dedicated for school kids, some of our elder care homes that we just give out for free for those to participate and paint for us. So they're being dispersed. Jamal has that program. We've had 250 purchased already. So we do have about 300 left that we definitely would need to get sold or painted. We're going to start some district-led paint events here that during the day into the evening, you'll be able to come here, paint a tile, and participate as a group. And that'll be notified through our recreation department. So the intent is that on 3 July, that's why they were given a hard date that the walls have to be up for our yoga gym room, is that one wall that's on the pool side right here will have our mural mounted and all the tiles presented. And at a point in time in June, if we see we're either not selling them or there's lack of interest, then we will be engaging a little bit more drastically some of the community groups to get their participation to help us paint some and to get them done. So they will be painted. I'm not worried about that. But it's actually selling a lot because of these two bulk purchases. Advent Hospital bought 100 for their employees. Another group that's supporting our dog park event bought 100. So I think that was a great initiative on their parts. We just need to get more citizens, and I think the citizens are just unaware of what's being asked. So that's on us. We need to better explain what we're asking. You don't need to be an artist. You could just paint a blue tile, solid blue, and we'll accept it. It doesn't have to say, just put your initials on the damn thing. We'll be fine. But that's all we need. I think there's some confusion or concern that I'm not an artist. I can't draw anything. It's really just contributing to the collective U.S. flag. And so it's working well, but we need to get more information out.
I asked because I'm one who's not sure how it works.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So if I buy a tile,
Yep.
do I take it home and paint it? Or?
You can take it home. It has instructions. It has the paint, it has the brush. It has exactly what you need to do.
You can't put specific things on it like crosses or anything like that. Right?
It recommends you can't do certain, like you can't use curse word. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
There'll be, but that'll be, when we get them back,
The
we'll be
directions
able
are in
to,
it.
yeah.
The directions are on it.
Yes, directions are on there, what you could and could not do. Yes, sir.
Okay. I'd also like to interject if I could, Mr. President. We have a pancake breakfast coming up that we're putting on, and I believe it's the 9th and the 30th, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir.
We could use volunteers to help out with that. I've already volunteered myself, but
Sure.
we need to have a number of volunteers. There's a lot of different openings that are available if you'd like to get involved in that as well.
Yeah, yes. Jamal runs our volunteer program. It's online. We definitely take volunteers for any event, ice cream social, any event. As we get closer to 3rd of July, all those special events that we run in here, there'll be a table set up with the 250th that'll explain the tiles, explain some of the coins. You'll have a better understanding of what we're offering. What I would definitely offer, we're trying to reach out through our golf organizations and get them energized that they, as an organization, the men's group, the women's group could paint some tiles for us and have their representation there. The HOAs, that'd be a great thing for your HOA to sponsor a few tiles so you can get them on the mural. I just think just the reality is once it's up there, it's there forever. And anytime you come, your family, your friend, your kids, and you come to the pool, you'll be able to see a small contribution to not only America's 250th, but your contribution to Sun and Lake, whatever it may be. So, yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
Anything else, sir?
No.
All right. The only holiday coming up, we mentioned, sir, Memorial Day. So we're off. The district's off that day. We will be doing our Memorial Day event in front of the clubhouse, 12:30, I believe it is. Is that right? 1 o'clock. I'm sorry. 1 o'clock on the Monday, or yeah, I think it's a Monday. The Memorial Day. There'll be we have a speaker, a short ceremony for Memorial Day for veterans or Memorial Day events. And that'll be at the clubhouse. So that's the only holiday coming up. And then our board meeting is the week after that. Our over 25,000 expenditure, all steady state stuff, everything from the pool payments, as you see there, as well as our electric bill, the usual stuff that we have to pay on a monthly basis out of our budget. So nothing out of the norm there when it comes to that. An interesting point, you notice our Duke Energy bill is pretty much static. It's a lot of money per month, but it's static. And that's because even adding 250 streetlights, we ain't paying for them. Where if we would have added 252 power lights, you would have seen an extra $10,000 a month in our electric bill. So that program is really going to pay back the district for many years to come, especially as we add more lights. And we're actually in the process right now adding our additional 125 lights into the summer, into the fall, across the district. Every area in the district is going to get lights. It's not one area in one specific area.
Is that something that you could publish what's happening this year, what happened last year?
Yes, sir.
Like on a map, just so people are aware of where these things are going?
Sure. That's a great point. What we actually did is we took an overhead nighttime drone view of Sun and Lake with all our lights on. And we have one from a year and a half ago that shows a lot of dark spots. So it's very interesting that just adding 250 lights, how much more we've electrified Sun and Lake for safety purposes. We'll do a better job of pushing that out. We'll show the little video that people can see. You'll see your whole neighborhoods, even with the 400 feet in between lights, are really lit up, and they're going to continue to get lit up. Just remember that we're doing it at the extreme of 400 feet between lights. The norm should be every 200 feet a street light. But I wanted to get maximum saturation first, and then come back and seed a light in between over time. But it's best to be able to reach out everywhere. And so over the years, every budget, you all are going to be approving another 150 lights every year for the next 5 years. And then we'll be totally electrified to include everything past Cortez, out there, all the way to Balboa. All those folks are going to get lights for safety purposes.
Are there any plans, existing lights that are there on the concrete
Yep.
poles, are there any plans to remove those and put a solar light in there?
Yeah, I think this is about removing the existing 2 power lights. Yes. Once we get the solar program initiated, I definitely will be coming back to you all and saying it's time to start ending, because these Duke power lights are in perpetuity. We cannot, unless we tell them to cancel, we will be paying thousands of dollars every month for the rest of our lives.
That's what I was concerned
So
about.
our plan would be, at their cost, they'll start unplugging those and we'll put one of our lights in there.
Great.
Yes, sir. That is a long-term plan.
Yep.
Very wordy, but you have your golf notes. If there's any comments there, we attend that with staff. I apologize I didn't make this meeting. There were no other meetings. We have a meeting with some of the advisory groups for the 250th and the racket courts. That'll be coming up in the next few weeks, so you'll see that in next month notes to the board. And the only thing I added here, because we did not have our strategic meeting, is if there's any initial board discussion or guidance that I can take back to the staff on budgetary talks. The way we do this, you've been provided the budget guidance from my desk to the departments, everything from individual budgets as well as major capital programs, and you've had it now for 60 days. If there's any high level concern, even if it's just concern, then I sit down with the department heads and I say, you know what, the board doesn't really have a warm and fuzzy on whatever. Let's rework the numbers and present it back to you guys in June. Since we didn't do our meeting because of that conflict, I would ask for that cursory guidance, because otherwise we're continuing to plug away departmentally, and it's just going to cause a lot of extra work if at the last minute you guys say stop
I
that.
honestly would like to sit down with the rest of the board and discuss some of the budget items.
Yep.
I know you had asked for Thursday or Friday of this past week to
Sure.
do it, and I don't know how many responded, but I
Yep.
was there for it. I wanted to be there.
Okay.
So maybe we could set another date as far as the board is concerned.
We can talk about that now if you don't mind, or if you don't want
Yeah,
to talk about
I
it
think we
this
should. I think we should review the calendar and make a decision. How do y'all feel about it? Mr. President?
Oh, I'm good. I leave town Thursday for 12 days, so
All right.
likely I won't be there. But I will share my individual.
Yeah, that's all I need. Yeah. Even individually, if you just give me comments of concern areas.
It is the 20th For example, is that something that we could consider a date?
What date is that?
It's a Wednesday.
Is that not next week, right?
No, sir. Two Wednesdays from now.
Either 13th or 20th, whatever. I'm speaking out loud here. I'm just trying to establish the date.
Yeah, the 20th does work for me. I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but I try very hard to be here.
Okay.
I just know next week I got doctor's appointments in my throat.
I would. It
So we'll
has to be
send
a
it,
public forum, right?
we'll just repeat the agenda item. It'll be public. It'll be 9 o'clock. I'll send the agenda item out. It'll just be a discussion on budget. We'll do it here at 9 o'clock. Yes,
On the
ma'am.
20th. Okay.
Yep. All right. We'll shoot for that. We'll get that on the calendar.
Does it make a difference if I go home and see I'm gone? So just let you
Sir, if
know.
you just give me your individual feedback, I can bring it to that meeting saying I heard from these
Yeah, okay.
supervisors. Yes, sir. That's all I need.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else on budget discussion? Like I say, you will have your budget numbers. We are looking very good across the district on expenditures, on amount of revenue. We've actually collected over 140% revenue to date, and we're only 6 months into the year. And it's not because we raised any taxes. We have a lot of builders still building. We have a lot of fees and permits still coming to us. There's a lot of collections being done by finance on past due debt. So there's a lot of revenue coming in that wasn't, while expected, was not planned budgetarily. So it's very good to our bottom line. And our expenditure rate is still hovering at 30% of our expenditure rate. It should be at 50% right now. So we're looking well there. So I'm very, very satisfied with the numbers. But you'll see the detail next month. Subject to your questions, all I got on general managers or staff reports. Yeah. Unless you want to open up to any citizen questions on that, sir.
Yeah.
Any other discussion between the board?
No.
Any public comments before we?
Rhonda Barish, 4983 San Ignacio Drive. In regards to the county commissioner board meeting the other day, it was very well communicated that because of a letter that our general manager sent to make our county commission look very foolish and unknowledgeable in everything, that we're in the situation that we're in. Also, in regards to the same meeting, it was brought up about the voting. It's not that I don't want us to have our own vote. What I want is to know who all voted so we can get all the information to see if it was done appropriately. I mean, Raymond had the box in his office. We have asked for this over 30 days ago, and it's still not been brought to anybody's attention. This is part of our Public Information Act. Why does it take so long when it would only be a phone call to Wicks, Brown, and Williams who took care of the vote? That needs to be addressed. There is never a 72-hour turnaround on information from the district office. Never, unless you're a golfer. And then you get an answer that day. So then the other thing is, I've asked multiple times about having meetings or, who sets up, like there's a yoga schedule, there's an aqua schedule. I asked for different things. Everything on this calendar that we have, people that work cannot attend any of it. You are still only addressing one part of the community. You have not taken into consideration moms, dads, anybody who I might like to do aqua yoga in the evenings. It was never brought up. I asked about it. The lady who asked for when there was going to be a new teacher. Yes, we're going to discuss it with citizens. We're going to have this. Nobody's done it. Nobody's done it. And I don't know why. I've asked for it. You said, Raymond says, oh yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to do that. Still hadn't happened. All this was set up, this calendar of all these events. I didn't know anything about it. I don't know if any of my neighbors did or anything else. Line dancing, all these wonderful things. that other people might like to be involved in, but can't because of the time frame when all this is set up. Again, there are more people here than can go to these events. That's why you're not getting participation. That's why you're not getting anything. And my last question, my last couple of seconds before I get back up again is, did the board, each and every one of you, approve Raymond's letter that was so egregious to the county commissioners?
Thank
He
you,
said-
ma'am. That's your 3 minutes.
It's all right, I'll get back up.
Good morning, Suzanne Wyatt, 1612 Sunrise Drive. I did not go to the meeting that was held in the Sebring. I did listen to it online, but I'm still lost from our attorney standpoint of if we are an independent district, then we get to move on with all this plan. If we're not an independent district, according to guideline, then all this is for naught, because these people won't be in a position. It comes from people that don't even know us. Is that correct?
Are you asking me if it's okay for Janice? Yes, that's certainly.
So I believe what you're asking is that if, in fact, the county does appoint the board members, does that mean the district will no longer exist?
Does it mean these people will no longer be our representatives, but people that don't live in Sun and Lake? It's
That
not
is
mandatory.
correct. That, ostensibly, the county could appoint anybody that they wanted to. I would assume that they would have some qualifications, like they'd have to be a resident of the district. So I think that if they do move towards appointing the board members, that we would work with them to make sure that there's some sort of qualifications for appointing the board members. I think it's entirely reasonable that if the county moves forward with appointing board members, that the board members should be residents of Sun and Lake and not Highlands County, because they'd have more stake in it. They pay assessments. So we would work on that. And I just want to clarify something that I said earlier. We are an independent special, this district is a special independent special district, but it was created by the county in the county code of ordinances. The county has full authority to change their code and change the voting structure.
Is
as
that
it
what you
stands
said
now.
the first time? Didn't you say emphatically we are an independent district?
We are an independent, yes, an independent special district created by the county. The county can change that because the charter, the district's charter, is contained in the county code of ordinance. And I've spoken with your general manager and your board members several times about approaching the Florida legislature to have the legislature recreate this district as a true independent special district that could only be changed by the Florida legislature. So
this conversation that you're going to have with the county commissioners is basically, it doesn't matter, because if the county commissioners want to absorb this and they want to say no, it's for naught.
yeah, and there are a number of reasons why that's not a good idea from the county's point of view. So we'll work with them. I think the goal is to work with, the county to find a solution that works for the county and the district residents.
Well, it might work for the county because of money, but we got to look out for ourselves.
Mm.
And it doesn't, I'm still vague on if we are looking out for ourselves.
Quickly on the point of recreation. So we are actively, we have 2 candidates for contractors. They're not employees, they'll be contracted employees to help run some of our programs, yoga, line dancing. So that's actively going on. It's been going on since the last discussion. If you ever have a question, any resident has a question about what they would like to see in a different time frame, in that office right there, Melissa works. She's the person that schedules that. And she tries to be as accommodating as possible on the schedule, the time frame. So we're open to that. We did a survey that's online with anyone in the district to ask for what classes they would like to see here. We've gotten over 300 respondents to that. If you haven't seen that, please see Melissa. She can have you fill it out back there, and then we'll get some feedback on that. We're being as open and accessible as possible on opportunities for classes, for residents, non-residents if we need to. It's just the desire and the want, and then we need to have the trainers properly here unless you come to us and say, I'll help run it, but then we got to make sure legally we're covered with liability and whatnot. I'll help run a class, a card playing class or whatnot, and we'll schedule it. So we're open to that, and it's ongoing. So that creation you looked at came out of her office. But if you're asking, any residents asking for, can we do into the evening? Can we do early morning? We are open to that. We will staff that. We just need to know the interest level beyond just one person asking. So Melissa's the person to talk to on that, ma'am. So.
Well, again, I asked for it in the board meeting and said, please, when is it going to be available? Who can we talk to? Everything.
Okay.
So again, you did not answer.
I think he just did. He just answered.
I don't think I'm talking to you.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
You're addressing the board is what you're doing.
He said he was answering me. Thank you. As far as fees and assessment, and we said that we would want any of our board members to live here in Sun and Lakes. We also have a general manager that doesn't have a dog in the fight. He doesn't live here. He doesn't pay assessments.
Thank you. 3 minutes are
skin
up.
in the fight.
Thank you, ma'am. And usually it's only 3 minutes on public comments. So
I
that's
stood up
usually
and got back up.
it's usually one visit to the podium per meeting, 3 minutes. They have been very lenient and allowed you to come up and speak and to comment on other people's comments. However, this is a board meeting and that is only 3 minutes at the microphone per meeting.
I wish you would have upheld all of that in previous board meetings, which you did not.
Obviously, it needed.
No, you did not.
I would like to clarify about the voting process. So I was the one that would take you to a small conference room where I see familiar faces that I helped to. The ballot box was not on our general manager's office. It's in a conference room.
Hi, I'm Rhonda Beckman, 4449 Alcantara Avenue. I'd like to see you go ahead and be proactive, take the first step in the communication issues and move your meeting so that our county representative can attend. Is there a reason that that can't be considered now instead of waiting until next year, until you see what happens?
I can only speak for myself. I tried to get some meetings moved later in the year because of my inability to be here. The board has said these dates are locked in for this calendar year. So until we have a new year to schedule, it remains as is for this year.
But you all can change it. I'd like to ask you to consider that.
We have to publish our meeting dates a year in advance, and if we have to reschedule them, then we do. And there's no reason that we can't go starting October 1 to the second Tuesday, and I'm sure we will, just to accommodate the county.
Okay.
But they've already been published for this calendar year. Am I correct? Yeah.
Speak. Can't hear you.
The board can vote to change the meeting dates, yes. So, yes, so if you wanted to, sure, if you wanted to make a motion, it just has to be a motion, has to be voted on, and then we'd have to have time to publish it because there'd be a change.
We can't really do that because I don't know what my schedule is. I plan my vacations around these meetings. I mean, I don't mind changing it, but we need a little time, Rhonda, to do it. I have no problem with changing it, but I don't want to change it where I can't come to the meeting. So,
We actually don't need to change the dates. We could just change the time.
yeah, we could change the time and it
Move them
would
to the
be,
evenings.
it
Then we would have no
that
conflict.
would be no problem if we change
Then we
it.
could
But,
bring in more community members.
but to just change it, and I've already done my whole year around these meetings, it is unfair.
I suggest the board just table it until next month and give you a chance to look at your calendars, give you a chance
Well,
to look at what the evening meetings might look like versus staff and availability. It's not something you have to vote on now, but I can understand the concern for the communication to have Commissioner
I'm all for
here.
changing it to a later time and leaving the dates as they are. But
Yeah,
again,
I'd vote today to make it at 9 o'clock. I mean, it's,
5:30.
or 5:30.
It's already at 9.
Yeah, but I don't want to miss a meeting
We,
because,
we don't have to change the dates, we just change the time, but we can meet in the evenings, and that way we could accommodate the county and more community members, which is our goal.
And we're assuming that 5:30 meeting would meet the need for the change, which is Commissioner Kerouac's presence.
Yes.
I think that should be checked first before
Okay.
you make that move. If you make the move on the meeting change and then Kerouac is not available, it's mute.
can we have Mr.
And our
Boz?
next meeting
is it night?
is an evening meeting, so
Yes.
we can see the turnout, see if Kerouac is available, and see how, if you decide to change.
Okay,
Do you understand?
okay.
So who's going to contact Mr. Kerouac?
The clerk.
Kim Gross, 4900 Pebble Beach. I was at the commissioners meeting. It was disturbing. Scott Kerouac's opening comments were very unprofessional. I got a sense from the entire board of county commissioners, condescension, arrogance. That was Tuesday, that carried into Donnell Wells D&D live show on the radio, where they dedicated a period of time to talk about Sun and Lake. It was joked about. We have no power. You know, we heard what the attorney said. She was not accommodating. I don't know how she talks to you, but she was not accommodating that day. I would like to see us start to go to the state and have us designated as an independent created by the state special district, so we can get on with our lives here and vote for the people that we want.
Hi, Dan Rockwell, 6056 Michelangelo Street. I just want to echo, I'm fully in support of what was just said. We need to be proactive on this, because what this ultimately amounts to is taking away our independence, our autonomy, and not being able to vote for you all, right? So we need to fight this thing. We can't just sit back and see what the county is going to do. We need to get in front of it and be prepared so that we can prevent this from happening. We need to fight this, because we need to maintain things the way they are, and we need to be independent and have autonomy, just like Sebring does, just like Lake Placid does. You know, I noticed from in the paper, it was stated that there was a lot of discussion and debate about whether we were a city or not, and that kind of thing. The fact of the matter is, we are a community. We are independent. We do have the ability to elect our board members, and we need to keep that. We need to keep that. So don't wait. Get in front of it now and prevent it from happening, because we can't. I don't want to be subject to some appointed board that's under the thumb. I copied you all on my email sharing my opinion with the county board, that I thought this was disgraceful. I found that Attorney General opinion in 30 seconds. You know, and we should not, dependent districts are typically, from my research, they're typically smaller, and they need to have an appointed board, but we're large and we're growing, and we need to maintain our independence and our ability and our right to vote for you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. I think that was well said. We really do need to show up for the meeting on 5/19 to express Dan's opinion as well.
Vertical. Good morning, Bill Norcross, a resident of Pebble Beach Drive for about 25 years. Thank you very much. A couple of comments I'd like to make is 15 years ago, Duke Energy wanted to do all the wiring coming in from 27 to be underground. And it was going to cost $1 million. And people were saying, how come it costs so much money? Well, you have businesses and you have to supply them with electricity. Well, guess what? They're already supplied with electricity right now. So it's something that could be done, and whether they're going to do it or not, because the front of Sun Lake Boulevard looks like a tree farm with cement poles, and it's really it's not really appropriate. I don't think. I think there's a big mistake there. Second thing, I'd like to ask Jimmy Murphy if he would do something about that little pond in the back of the putting green across the street and in between the driving range. I mean, it looks dirty and filthy. Is there something you can do about that?
It's up to you. If you want to answer, go ahead.
So we do have future plans there. Right now, currently, it is part of our drainage right there. So we could fill it up to a point, but it would still have to, that pipe balances and it is part of the sheet flow in there. There is, like I said, future discussion of modifying that area as well. So right now, we would just have to address it individually and it would be filling it in. But we still need the drainage.
Well, filling it in would be no problem, I don't think, but, future projects. Also, I'd appreciate if you put a couple more benches on the driving range and then put where it says the ball, the dispenser, Sun Lake Boulevard driving range. It's really identifiable and it's kind of nice to have, especially with these old people like me.
Thanks. Any other public comment? This meeting, oh, I'm sorry.
My name's Mike Barney. I live at 6510 Sun Lake Boulevard. Jimmy, I understand what you're talking about on the sprinkler system on Turtle. That needing done before you obviously put new greens in. I'm a little concerned about the greens on Deer. I'll be honest with you, I've only played once this year and I played Turtle. I wasn't even on Deer. But just from what I'm hearing, the greens on Deer, I've been struggling. And I understand that we've been looking into it, but what I find, when Mark wanted someone besides the USGA to give us an opinion, the reason why, I would think would be because most members were complaining about the greens not being very good. And then also, Boz commented earlier on how much money we save by doing things in-house. Well, when you're doing excavating things, I think especially this community, all being seniors, these greens need to be more inviting for approach shot. And after, not only are the greens struggling, I understand that, that we're on top of it. You guys are on top of it. Found a new problem with the pH. That's hearsay. I don't know for sure, but whatever it is, I hope it does work. But the grading on the greens would need to be more inviting for a shot. For some of these, we're all seniors. So last thing you want is game's tough enough without having the green shaped a certain way. And I guess before you have to spend money to stay on top of things, but I would like to know that the problem on Deer was 100% taken care of as far as the green surviving with what the problem is, and going forward a year or so, feel like we're on top of it before we started putting new greens in Turtle. I understand that all this sod and all this stuff that was brought in was special dirt, not supposed to be contaminated with anything. Now, I don't know that to be a fact. That's hearsay. Again, I've played one time this year. I've had other things going on, but that's a lot of money to be spending. But Jimmy, if you could confirm some of what I'm saying as far as what we've done to get on top of it. And
If you want to respond, Jimmy, go ahead.
So the greens were constructed the exact same they were. I don't know whether you guys played prior or whatever, but when we did the greens, and there was a lot of, Mr. Norcross, you got plenty of pictures of them. So the stakes, all the undulation in the greens was already there. We'd widen the edges of them to sheet off the water. So they're wider, they're bigger. There is the runoffs. Those weren't there, but you would ended up with a coffer dam. So you really got to blend what you have currently. So that's what happened on the edges. So they are a USGA green. There's gravel. The greens mix was there. Everything's there. We don't have enough organic in them right now. The sulfuric acid was due to the pH. So I've been messing with pH for the last 5 months with these greens. Our current pH out of our well water is still 8.3. That is not adequate for growing turf. We've done the acid injection. I have the testing for the materials in the greens. I have the certified grass in there. As far as Tifton, Georgia goes, I can provide all that. I think we've provided all that during construction as well. So the pH, the same thing. It's been sent to labs. We've got recommendations how to treat it, how to go move forward with it. And it's not something you can flip a switch. So we were good going up into September, and then we started falling off because basically the acid started having the effects on the greens. So we've learned a lot over the last 4 months, buffering our pHs on our fungicide applications that we're putting out for the disease that we were getting, which was crown rot and leaf rot. So we're getting smarter in the process just by dealing with the Dr. Harmon at the University of Florida. We have all that at our will when we need it. It's just a matter of being diligent and digging further into it. Okay, well, there you go. But listen, if you'd like to stop by my office, I'll share some of that stuff with you. Yep, I know you have.
Okay.
Wait,
Yeah, we can talk. All right, thank you.
I want to say something.
Go ahead.
I've been in the business for 40 years. I have built 5 golf courses, excuse me. I've worked with some of the finest designers. I actually helped start the first golf course in Russia. I know from whom I speak. This is the 5th day of May. We have got scheduled in front of us 10 days with no rain and 90 to 95 degree temperatures. You cannot fight Mother Nature. We have had no rain. Our water table is low. We had the acid coming up. The water table, the state of Florida, underneath us is a river. That river is almost dry. That's why our table is so low. You cannot fight Mother Nature. You cannot put enough water on the greens that do not come from the clouds and take the nutrients out of the air to put back into the soil. It just can't be done. Am I right? It's a process. You cannot fight Mother Nature. Give our agronomists a little bit of leeway because of the weather that we've had this past year, on top of which we had 28 degrees weather for 2 days. It's just been a weird season since October 1. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you for stopping. Any
My
other
3
public
minutes
comments
were up.
before I ring this gavel?
Yes, Susan Thomas, 6930 Cecilia Avenue. I just have really two comments. One, when we go start the meeting, none of you tell the public who you are. We do know who you are, but it's written down in the minutes and you're supposed to do a roll call and it's not done. That's one. And as far as the county taking over and deciding what's going to be done here, I find that to be a conflict of interest. If they're at the county level and now they're going to be at our level, I just don't see how that works.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comments? This meeting is adjourned.